welcome into Footium in the States. That's right, baby. We are here to keep talking about Footium. Season 6 is around the corner. I'm still in Division 8, whatever, but I'm winning cash or ETH, whatever. So I'm having a great time. Thomas, the rug pull expert, is here in before all of us from the first episode, here to spit some knowledge. Chris, the MLS card guy, struggling in Division 7, but it was a sweat the whole way. ZM Star, new game, new adventure. That's right. We got a new man in the Footium streets. And Alex, win-win when you buy a team, Alex. That's when you are here to learn, to catch the FOMO, to get up all in the Footium streets. But we're gonna end on ZM Star because we're all gonna see what he got up to the last couple of days. But Thomas, we haven't heard from you in a while. So dude, how's Footium been going for you?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I think I tweeted about how I basically lost promotion in the final seconds of the season, quite literally the final seconds, and that was not this last season, but the season before. But after looking above and seeing how my compadres in this Division 7 have done in Division 6, I'm actually pretty happy staying where I am. It's a brutal, like when you go from D8 to D7, it's brutal. But when you go from D7 to D6, I mean, it just, the pyramid it gets tough. So I think it's been nice though. The whole like two club model is starting to actually play out. I've been able to flip a few players that never would have played with the first team and actually use those for actually bolstering the first team in a couple of ways. So I'm having fun still. And rug hat front, rug pullers. Maybe we get promotion this year. I don't know.
This is the year for sure. Chris, real quick, give us an update on your Footium squad or squads. Yeah. How's it going over there?
So Thomas said that he lost promotion on the last day. I survived on the last day. Actually got back-to-back wins the last 2 days and got a little help on the last day to stay up. Stayed in Division 7. Continue to bolster the team. I've actually been very active flipping this offseason. I've had a lot of success with the flips. And I've actually traded up enough for Team 2 now to be affordable. So don't know that I can afford the players yet, but just run a zombie team. It's fine. Div 8, you know? So I'm in the market. We're looking. So if you want to sell me a team for way below the market price, you know, I'm here for it.
No matter what, we're always wheeling and dealing, baby. Alex, what brought you on this here stream? Because we maybe added you to the Footium chat anyway. Said, oh, we're gonna get this boy in here, and then you showed up for the stream. So, where are you at? Where's your head at right now with the Footium?
I'm here to learn. That's what I'm here. This is my new class. Just registered. You know, Footium 1100.
That'll be $3,000, please.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. But yeah, no, I'm here to learn. I think the game sounds like a really fun idea. I know that you guys have been doing these streams, so I thought hop on, see what's going on. Especially with Zach here, I feel slightly left out, but I still want to see what's going on.
That's it. That's why we had you here to ask all the questions that we all forget about. And it's been a couple seasons, but we're in. But ZM Star, the man with the plan himself, the reason why we are all here. You're already in. We had a conversation the other night. We were streaming, having a good time. We started talking about Footium, and you just started moving ETH around left and right like there's no tomorrow. So tell me, how did it go? What made you make the jump? And where are we at now?
Yeah, so we had a stream the other night. We were talking about it, and I was kind of getting to a point with the other game we play where I just wasn't enjoying it as much as I should, or at least I did at the time. So I just started asking you questions about the game. How does it work? And there's like so many things that I already like about this. First being like DMPs do not exist. I think that first and foremost is like the best part about this game. Like you put your team out there, a guy might get injured, but he's not going to DMP on you. So I was like, all right, at least I get to enjoy.
He also doesn't get injured if you manage them correctly and you don't let him fall below 45 stamina.
Yeah,
so
injuries are on you.
All that. Yeah, injuries are your fault.
Totally on you. Yeah, on you. Another thing was just like looking through the game and the white paper and how they fund the divisions makes a lot of sense. Like there's just so many things about the game that made a lot of sense. And it just seemed like it's a lot more fun to run a club with guys that effectively, yes, are just sort of named players that aren't real guys, but like that's what you paid a premium for in the other game. and I'd rather just run a club with guys that I get to sign. And I know the start date and the end date of when they finish playing. That's another part of it that I think is really exciting, and how they keep the game fresh and not overloaded with players.
And they have like a built-in burn mechanism too, so it's kind of nice. I do want to shout out David Taylor for hopping in the chat. Maybe let's go, evening lads. 6th season on the game. Congratulations. 3 teams being managed, all in D7. Loving the game. Looking for triple promotion. Anything less will be a failure.
That's some high expectations, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, man, but when you believe, you could do anything, and that's just a reminder that hey, this is a live stream, and if you are hanging out on X and or YouTube, you could chime in the chat, join the conversation, and just be a part of the fun as we are all here. So Zach, kind of walk me through the process of picking a team. Like, how did that go for you? Like, did you look for a name? Did you just look for the cheapest club on the market? Like, kind of how was your process to start out?
Yeah, so price was the first consideration, but all of us were kind of chatting privately, just for things I should kind of know when looking at this. And a big one that Thomas provided was looking at the start times of when the teams play, because I don't want a 3 a.m. kickoff if I actually want to be able to manage the team like live. So I was like, okay, let me look at both price point and kickoff times by kind of digging on OpenSea to see what was going on. So that's how I came about finding this club, and it ended up having an awesome name. So
what's the name?
Reveal it to the world, man.
The name is Crokensham, and there's just nothing better than Crokensham right now, as far as a team name. I'm kind of upset that it's a dragon rather than like a frog, but maybe Footium will eventually let you redesign your badge.
You can redesign your badge already. You can
as an owner,
you have to pay a little extra money, but
you can win it too. They do giveaways and stuff. They have a designer.
Okay,
pretty good.
All right. Well, it looks like I'll have to win one. I don't know if I want to pay for it just yet. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and see where we can get it to. Have you gone through and started buying any players yet?
Yes. So I went into the academy. I signed a few of my guys out of there. I ended up reading and watching as much content as I could. There's a ton of people in the community already that put out a bunch of stuff. And then I just started looking at players. And again, I expect to make a lot of bad decisions starting off, but that's kind of sort of the idea. But here is my team as it stands right now. So here they all are. I went with
players.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started with a pretty decent budget, to be honest. But I started with looking at a formation that I wanted, and then purchasing off of that formation. By accident, I did buy 2 guys that don't fit the formation, but that's whatever.
Did you pick the formation based off what you think you would run in real life, or did you pick it based off of the cost of the players, or how did you pick the formation?
Oh, so I picked the formation, which happened to be the starter formation, but it's the one that I actually thought I would like to watch my team play through, which is the I guess I can go to the tactics, right? Yeah. The 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Game plan
classic.
leads. Yeah, this is what I play, honestly. I've had the most I've had the most success with the 4-2-3-1. I think it's in what division are you in? Are you in D8 or are you in D7?
Yeah, D8.
Yeah. So odds are you're probably facing against at least half the teams are zombie teams. That's been my D8 experience lately. When I had the second club I had, they were in D8 last season, and actually all but 2 teams were zombie teams. This is pretty good.
When I was looking at maybe playing 2 forwards, center forwards, I believe are probably the most expensive position that I came across. So playing 2 forwards, they were anyway. They're up there in price.
It kind of depends, actually, because I've started looking a little higher and lower. And Thomas, you might have the most experience with this because you have the most players. But I feel like goalkeepers at the very bottom are really cheap, but then as you go up, they kind of get a little bit more expensive. Yep. Attacking mids are kind of the opposite. It's hard to find a really, really cheap attacking mid, but there are a few once you get a little higher up. So positionally, it is a little weird on what's expensive and what's not. But yeah, center forwards, center backs, center mids, I feel like are mostly the most expensive. Wingers definitely the cheapest.
Yeah, wingers. You could get quite a few.
Yeah.
For pretty cheap. And then I started looking. So then I started trying to understand like the stats on the guys. And then obviously I figured out like the captaincy thing.
Yep.
And like, oh, okay.
Leadership.
Yeah, leadership. So like that's why my captain, he's an 86 or whatever, who's also my attacking mid. So I mean, so far I think I have a pretty good team for D8, honestly.
So honestly, at least how I built my team, I didn't even look at the actual starting like overalls. I was just looking at the potential overalls. So what do your potentials look like?
So where do I go to my players for you to see that? Is that
Yeah,
right?
just click into the players, and that's where you can kind of see how far you can actually take them.
Yeah, so then if we go by like, obviously my older players were kind of roster fillers, slash guys I wanted to play if I was going to end up having to train like my younger guys. So let's see, like this, I believe this is one of my academy guys. Yeah.
So 45.
So this is one,
or 45.
yeah, so 45. And that was another thing, trying to understand. So like the potential is basically where he can cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this, you add this to what his current rating is, and that's how you get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and like honestly, I've found so far no reason to have like a multifaceted player.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much just specialize them in one position has been what I've seen most people do anyway, and then just have enough good players in your roster if you need that other position. So it's interesting. I mean, occasionally I might find myself in the D8 team playing some players that are like center mids, and maybe I need to slot them into a defensive mid. But like D7, whenever I'm up against really strong competition, I feel like I have to maximize every spot on my roster, and there's no room for flexibility. It's you are really good at this position, and you will play this position.
The other thing is knowing the opponent. Like you can see zombie teams coming, so you can rotate wherever you want because who cares? You're playing a zombie team, you're going to win anyway. And also, I'd like to shout out George for being completely wrong that the false 9 is the way to go. He's completely wrong about that. He has no idea what he's talking about. I'll see you in my DMs later, sir.
I think we got Jorge back finally.
Oh, no, I'm here. Okay, I'm here. I'm just a little under the weather, and nobody wants to hear me all show. So I'm trying to be on mute, but I'm here. I just got to remember to unmute myself.
He's under the Pittsburgh weather.
Yeah.
He's adjusting.
I was having so much fun until the sinuses hit, and I hate it here. I'm moving back to Florida. Yikes! But
so, Calais is what 15, so 47 rating. You see how I got to that?
Yeah, you take the 6 off because it's already been unlocked.
Yep.
And so you just put the remaining plus what he's at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it took me a while to figure out like how this all worked, but yeah, once I saw that the unlocked is already built in, and then you have to just apply the remainder there.
One of the things to watch is the age, because you won't unlock things like immediately. It takes a little bit of time. So you can get guys that have like 25 still to unlock, and they're like 23 years old. They're never going to hit that full 25 potential.
So one season is 1 year in age, right? Like over the 6 weeks, that's basically he ages 1 year. That's what I figured. Again, there was just like little things like that I just made assumptions on. So yeah, like the younger guys, you really want to try to unlock if they look like they have good potential. I'm assuming you want to try to like boost them as quickly as possible. From that age.
Yeah. So what I have is I have a little spreadsheet that kind of tells me like what age a guy's at, how much potential he still has to unlock, which gives me the average that he needs to unlock over the course of the next how many ever years to get to full potential. And then I know, okay, this guy, I need to unlock 5 points per season. That's just not going to happen. I think the average is like 2.5 of what I found is about 2.5 to 3. If you're like, if he has training points that are already unlocked, then you can train a little bit faster. But if he's just starting at 0 and you have to unlock the training point and then train him, it's about 2.5. If you like fully he's the starting guy and he's like in there when he can be in there stamina wise, obviously with rotations too.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I found hard is like, for example, like the rare player, it's a center back, and right now it's rating 66. And I feel like anytime I have, like, and he has 11 available potential. And anytime I just don't have any chances to actually train him because I need him for every freaking match because it's brutal. Like if I were in D8, I would probably just let him sit the entire season and just train him up as much as possible in preparation for D7. Or if I got promoted to D6 and I saw it was a bloodbath, I might just do the same and just say, hey, like I'm just gonna get him up and maybe try and finally sell him for a nice profit. But like when it comes to some of those big players, what I struggle with sometimes is just the ability to actually find time to train them because I need them week in, week out. And I'm also playing with like slim rosters on probably both my teams. I mean, if I wanted to, I would have a mega roster, right? But I want to actually flip some of these players into, you know, new teams and sell them for a little bit of money in order to bolster the team. So like, you know, I think I have about 28 players on the main roster and 24 something like that on the second club.
What you can do to kind of cheese. Sorry, I'll let you go in a second. Right?
Are we cheesing?
What you can do to cheese is at the end of the season, assuming that last game doesn't matter for like promotion or relegation, whatever.
Yeah.
You can get 3 training points in one day on that last one. So you just sit them the last game, pick up the 3 free training points, or you just play them super tired, I guess, if you really want to.
Yeah, unfortunately, both games.
It's tough to do that sometimes.
Yeah, both the final games and both the last 2 seasons have mattered.
Yeah.
Like one was promotion, one was just like to try and get a better spot.
Yeah,
need a little bit more money.
That's always a tough. That's how I got kept in a D8. It was my last two matches of the season were literally against 1 and 2, and it was like a tight. We were all tied on points, like top 3, and it was.
Oh man, I mean, like this past season, I think my last string of games, I played like every single team that before they played me, they had a zombie team.
Yeah, they all rotated before you.
Everyone had to rotate
hate that
against me prior, and like I was just going nonstop, boom, 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 boom. It was a little infuriating. It's just a symptom of the zombie team apocalypse, but hopefully it will resolve itself when we get less zombie teams in the G7 space.
I mean, it's starting to fill up. I've noticed because, you know, I've been chilling in D8. Every year, there's like more and more not zombie teams. And it's like this year, like it's pretty full. And I'm like, uh-oh. Like gone are the days where I could rotate my team and just train everybody and not have to worry about it. And I'm with David on this one, that the optimal number is around like 33. Because it's like you were saying, like you need to play him. You can't rotate him. You can't train him. I just love having everybody as possible so I can rotate, actually train the young kids. Because I only have one team, so I'm trying to win and train and eventually sell, which I'm very bad at, but I will get there.
Yeah, and the thing about rare players, though, is that you get a nice boost in your chemistry because they're a rare player. So your chemistry is like awesome as opposed to great. And that's another advantage. I mean, honestly, I think it's the only reason I've been able to stay up in D7 the first season or 2, just because it was really tough. So. Yeah, I'd love to rest him, but I don't feel like signing 5 more rare players.
Hey, I stayed up in Div 7 without a rare player, so it can be done.
I mean, I don't want to dish on your division, man, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
there was one team that was even halfway decent with a rare.
Yeah,
player.
Dude, this one I'm in, man. Like, oh my god, some of them have finally got. I mean, some of them are gone and up, but some of them are back after getting kicked out of it.
So that's another question I have. Does the league number matter also?
Yeah.
Like Div 8, 80, I'm in 82.
Yeah.
Like, what is 82?
Because you'll go up to Div 7 like 41 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you'll come back down to
and your time will change too, by the way. So that's one thing to get an idea of. Like, what would your next time be if you were to be promoted?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you see some of the same teams that like, oh, they got promoted. I thought they were gone, and then you see them again the next year. It's like,
I definitely got one of those this season. Yikes! I wasn't stoked to see him back.
I almost bought one of them. I was like, I don't want to face you anymore. You're kind of one of the lowest clubs.
Dude, George, get out of my head, okay? Just because we have the same name doesn't mean anything. Because I was literally about to come to Alex and be like, Alex, where are you at? Are you lost? Have you come up with any questions?
No, I wanna see what the market looks like and how you guys sort of approach that when it comes to buying players. And you know what that looks like, because obviously when you're first getting started, first thing you do, you go to the market, see you can get. So I want to see what you guys did.
You go to your academy first.
Academy first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
it's mine, because my academy sucks every single year. I've only signed 3 academy kids. Well, I flipped 2 of them, so I've signed 5, I guess, in 3 full seasons. So I've gotten like 1 good one a year, tops.
Couldn't it be me broke as heck with what is it 4, 5, 50 plus rated in my academy this season? I was like, I'm
Div 8. At Div 8, I got 1.
Let's go, baby. What do I got? I got 3 center forwards that are like 50 up. I have like 2 center mids now. I just got a right back. Bro, the key is to be so bad that you just chill in Div 8 the entire time. You just rack up academy prospects.
By the way, you could 100% flip all those center forwards.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna play with nobody. Like, see, I'm in the long game.
He plays 2 center forwards.
Yeah, but I also play a 4-4-2. So yeah, I need more. I have 4 center forwards on my roster because I think 1 retired last year. Like, I have my 50s, and then just every year I just buy like a cheap center forward just to kind of fill in and rotate, so that I could actually train my academy. Which I'm in the market for center forwards again. Yeah, but I'll get in there. But yeah, it's big brain. Okay.
Ooh,
stay in Div 8, stay in the money, because I've finished 3rd like three seasons in a row now. So like I'm in amongst it. I just I'd be slacking. It's always something. Either I lose my MetaMask password, or I'm moving and I can't check my teams for a couple days. And it's just like, you know, we're out here, we're vibing and thriving, baby. And shout out to Jay Blaze, always chiming in the chat.
Going back to Alex's comment. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Jorge. Going back to Alex's his question, as far as going into the market, it's kind of what you're looking to build as far as your team. So I'm trying to split my team into like long-term players and current players now, because I am trying to win a little bit more. I'm trying to stay in Div 7, so I'm getting a few more guys that are like a little higher overall, as opposed to just like, I mean, you can go find like the super high potential guys that aren't trained at all. They're like 25 overall, but they'll be a 50. And you're going to get creamed if you use those guys, especially in D7. I'm trying to balance those two and have like 1 or 2 of each, style. So like one that's doesn't have the most potential in the world, but it's a little bit higher, like a little further along, a little older generally, just to kind of keep the cost down. And then go for like a longer term project as well. I've always been a lot more long-term focused. And some of those guys are starting to become like really good, consistent starters in the team now. So it takes like 3-4 years to get those guys up. But like I had an academy kid the very first year that started as a 27. He's up to a 36 now. He'll get to 52. So like he's now like kind of a baseline starter. So I can just continue to train and continue to train and continue to train with him. He's still only 19 years old. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a balance of trying to find those guys, and you just literally look for outliers. That's what I do. I look at the floor, and then I look for outliers compared to the max rating, so the potential at each position. So if I find, like I found a left wing back who was 0.006, who the next closest comp was like 0.01. Bought him. He actually had I think he had crazy stamina or something too, because I actually flipped him for like 0.013 or something the next day. But yeah, there are definitely like 2x flips out there if you're patient and you can find them.
How often are you guys buying players on the market right now? Are you sort of cooling out now, or? So
they have like windows for transfers. So they have obviously the preseason, and then are they adding another window? I think
there's 2. There's two.
Now.
Yeah, there's 2 limited windows this time.
Yeah, so they have like limited windows, because I think it's funny because whenever we did our first stream, it was just Chris, Jorge, and I think one of some of the feedback I provided was the fact that you had teams just mass cycling the entire rosters across the board, and I was really delighted when I saw that they actually did cap it to where I think it's 5 players per window.
I think it's 3 this time.
3 this time, windows. Okay. Yeah, so 3. I mean, even then, like that's more than that's plenty. Like, So you can't have teams that are just cycling in entirely, rested rosters. So there's I think the biggest window though in terms of people paying attention is definitely the preseason window.
Yeah, the offseason.
And then they also you can if you have a player unregistered from your team, so they're not registered with any team, you can still sell them as a free agent, and then another player can come in and buy that player, and then register their team anytime at any time, right? And
it
so
doesn't have to be an open window to register a free agent and an academy player.
Yeah, so they've definitely improved upon the market and how it can't be too abused. But I would say really look, my plans are set at the beginning of the season. It's not like I'm going to lose players. The only thing I'd see is maybe if I think usually what I do now is I just take a player when I realize, hey, I think I can bring this player up from the reserve side and pull him into my main team because I'm realizing I need more depth at center back or who knows what. So yeah, that's really been my strategy.
So to answer your question, this has been my busiest off season by far. I've just bought 18 this off season, other than when we first started. I've had 67 players through the club in the entire 4 seasons that I've owned it. So I've almost done almost a third actually.
He's back to flipping. Team. It's like early days of Sir Air all over again, man.
Oh my gosh. Like I've had a little bit of time and I've just gone on at like midnight every night and I just look for deals and I find deals and I have a cash balance now because I've been flipping stuff. And so I'm just buying it and listing it back up and then it sells within a couple days and then I take that cash and go flip again. I can see how many, but I've probably flipped like 7 things that I never touched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 players that I bought this offseason that I've already flipped without ever playing a game. I just bought them and sold them all for profit. I've only taken a loss on one guy. It was a 30-cent loss, and I used him for 1 season. So I got 50 cents of value from him playing a season. So I didn't technically take a loss, depending on how you define profit. But everybody else I've literally sold for more than I bought, including all of the fees and all that stuff.
I need to do more selling because I've just been buying. I just buy when I feel like when I notice that I can't play and train at the same time, I'll usually go into the market and try to buy something cheap just to like supplement the roster, just so that I can continue to try to win and get promoted because clearly it's a struggle, and still train all my lovely 50+ rated academy players that I got because oh no, I'm drowning in great young prospects. Oh no, poor me. The struggle is out. But like honestly, buying, I've noticed that buying during the season because a lot of people aren't looking because like Thomas said, like you have your plan, you have your team, and you kind of ride with it because the season's only a couple of weeks anyway, so you can kind of get away with it. That there's a lot of deals in the market. I think last season I probably bought like 1 or 2 players that weren't even free agents. Like I knew I wasn't going to have them for the season, but I was like, hey, like this player in the long run is going to go really like well for me, and he's cheap, and then you just kind of scoop him.
And I think those are players that are just selling out, and so they sell the team. Maybe they're selling all the players in the roster too, and so now you can just get ready for it down the road.
I also list my players like a little too high, like all the time, and people will just buy them like every once in a while. So if someone wants to overpay for one of my players, I'm not going to stop them. I'm just going to list it for like more than it's worth, and then just go replace that with another guy that's actually priced correctly. There's also the overcharging aspect, I guess, of it too. So you can kind of hit them on both sides.
Which I mean, that's what clubs do, right? Like, hey, if you want this player right now, you got to pay a premium.
And some people really overvalue stamina. Some people really overvalue leadership. So like, even if you have one trait that's like elite, like I've got a 93 rated stamina center forward. I got him from the academy, even though he was kind of right around the floor price of everybody else on the market as far as max rating and position. I got him because he's 93 stamina, and I feel like somebody's going to overpay for him at some point.
And apparently they do, because you're over here just rolling in the dough, about to fund a whole new team just by flipping players on the market. You love to see it. But shout out to George for hanging out in the chat. That's right. There is the big giant So Rare promo that Footium was doing. So if you do kind of cross over, you get some goodies. You know how we do. Obviously, a big server community over here at Footium in the States, aka server in the States sometimes, twice a week, every once in a while. But yeah, Alex, no pressure from George himself. He's loving the stream. Shout out to the kid, Thomas.
Which I did fill out that little thing, and I did put Thomas, Chris, and George in a randomizer, and George, you ended up winning, so you got my referral. But I did put you guys in the randomizer.
That's a true friend. Put it in the wheel of names.
Yeah, all right. I was like, all right, whoever gets it gets it.
I love that.
And
Alex,
dude, the market is something I'm so not even, Alex, I have no idea how it really works yet. Like Chris is gonna be kind of my guy to talk to because he's a market player. So I mean I'll have plenty of questions when the time comes on how to sell, how to list. Yeah. How do I even know what's worth listing? I'm just so lost on that aspect. But I plan to make a ton of mistakes and pay for them literally, and that's kind of how you learn, You make mistakes and you pay for them.
And I make money when everybody else makes mistakes, and they pay me. That's great.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake, and maybe this is a good one that we could each shout out, is what a biggest mistake is. I think my biggest mistake was whenever I moved to D7, and I because the price of Academy minting goes up with every division, and I was like, yes. D7 Academy mints, all of them, boom, 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 boom. And then I went and looked, and I was like, wait, I could have gotten better off the secondary market.
Yeah.
And so
you almost never want to mint all of your Academy players.
Yeah, and so I think yeah, exactly. And so it's just it's you kind of get a sense for some players, central mid goes up to high 50s, 100%, yeah, given it, because you just know that those are typically more costlier. But if you get a left winger, and you gotta definitely look in a little bit deeper and say, hey, is this someone I actually want to mint, or do I want to just go to secondary market if I really need another winger?
Yeah, it's fairly easy to find a comp. Just find the lowest price on the market, and just realize that that's kind of the ceiling. It could the actual real market price could be lower than what the floor price is. If everybody's priced too high, someone might not be willing to pay, for the floor price, if that makes sense, because there is a supply issue. But generally, you can go just sort by the max rating. You can look at, so if you have a 50 overall left winger, you just put left winger on and 50 overall, and you just look at that max price. And if that's above what your academy cost is to mint, then you can think about minting them. Now you also got to think about, do they fit in the team? Do I play this position? You can buy players just to flip them, but that's generally a little bit more risky because you never know if it'll sell or not. If it's a great deal, then I would mint it and still try to flip it. But generally I only mint academy players that I am pretty sure I can use on my team if I don't end up selling them on. So if you're trying to evaluate, I don't know who's controlling this, but whoever was doing that, go back to their academy.
It's me.
Me. Cool. So Francisco Lopez over here. So I would go, okay, he's a 51 center mid. So I'd go look at the center mids.
I typically look at the last sold though, not necessarily the last listed, right? Because it's sort of that old, anyone can ask anything, but what actually are people willing to pay?
Yeah, that's true. But their stuff could also be too low too.
Sure.
So all right, 0.006 is the lowest one on the market. So we know that's the ceiling. So since you're in Div 8, that's a conversation that you could do a little bit more research. If you go and you see there's one if I have this player in my academy and it's 0.0069 to mint them, I know hands up, hands down, I shouldn't do that unless I'm looking for a younger player because that guy is a little bit older.
Yeah, I would even say 0.06 is a little expensive for a guy that's 29. Yeah, he's what, max 45. looks like
Yeah,
central
45.
mid.
Yeah,
Like,
and also check on Footium itself. So when you go here, go into this about page and then check them on Footium because they could be a year older. Sometimes the metadata doesn't update every time. So this one is accurate, but just check it because like people can train them during the season or their age could be different. But this like on Footium itself is always accurate. So always do that before you're trying to buy a player. But yeah, so this guy has 3 seasons left, age 29, age 30, age 31. So you divide his price by 3 seasons, and that's how much you're paying per season to have him on your team. And that's kind of how I evaluate a lot of the players that I'm having, which tends to lead me to younger players that I can develop because you get more seasons. So even if they're a little more expensive, they're generally going to be lower per season.
Oh, trust me, there's all these sorts of spreadsheets that Chris like shows me all the time, and I just like nod my head like I understand what's going on, and
They're color coded.
I don't. There's just numbers all over the place, and this potential, and then you divide by here, and you just it's 0.037, and dude,
it's been growing too. I'll just flash it for a little bit so that you guys can see it.
Yeah, dude, he won't even flash this thing like this.
Me and Slayer.
No, I'll flash it. I'll flash it.
We play vibes only, no spreadsheets.
So this is like I'm tracking all this stuff. I'm tracking like
oh my god,
I'm tracking my starting lineups. I'm tracking literally everything. I'm tracking their potential, their cost per season. I'm tracking how much I've grown them over the year. So that's how I can say like I average about 2.5 overall points per year that I'm increasing the players by. So yeah, I'm tracking quite a bit, and
I think you kind of point out something there is that there is no Footium data.
Yeah.
I think there was like one site that someone created at one point, but I think last I checked it wasn't updated. I think maybe they built it for like test purposes or just as an example. But yeah, it's really it's sort of the
Wild West.
It's the Wild West a little bit. It's also kind of you get a little bit more of an advantage whenever you're willing to put in the time and actually kind of figure out and watch the market a bit more. There's no price alerts or anything like that. Well, I guess in OpenSea maybe you can set up price alerts.
Yeah, I think this was the only tool that I saw in the Discord. Full-time whistle. But I'm not even 100%. It's called full-time whistle. Yeah, I need to full-time whistle.io.cc, and it's a Footium tool. And I did see somebody post it in the Discord.
This is I've seen this. I actually have seen this one before.
You have seen this one before, yeah. So I don't really. I mean, again, I don't know exactly how it works, but like, yeah, there's not a lot of tools out there yet. But there is some way to use. Like, I haven't even messed with this all as much, but this is like the transfer market, and I'm sure there's a way to parse this all out for what you're looking for and finding value in here somewhere.
To be fair, you can do a lot of this on OpenSea too.
Yeah.
So you can use the filters on OpenSea are pretty good at getting down to what you need to look at.
Although don't go to the new OpenSea because apparently it caps you.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. It caps you at the number of queries. Like if you try and do something that has over 1,000 results, it's like, sorry, I can't do that.
So I didn't even know there's new OpenSea.
Yeah, no, it tried to force you into looking at it, it got me the first time.
So, to be fair, I've been using the new OpenSea for one reason. Max rating is now a number that you put in up to another number that you put in. That's so much easier than hitting all the freaking check boxes. I hate that.
Well, no, you can just there's
like a 50 to 60 and a 60 to 70.
Yeah.
But you don't have I've been doing it more granularly. I've been going all right, 54 and up, 55 and up, 57 and up, and just looking. And that's how I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the mid 40s and in the mid 50s, and that might be the reason why everybody's still using OpenSea, like the older OpenSea. The new OpenSea doesn't update the metadata nearly as much, but yeah, that max rating thing does help quite a bit. I have liked that.
No, the more you know. You learn something new every day. All right, we need a timeout here, Alex. How you feeling, buddy? There's a lot of information flying thick and fast.
Yeah.
You look. How you feeling over there, buddy?
It's becoming more clear to me now. Like, what I'm
He's
gonna
gonna have a club by the end of the night. I'm telling you.
Are you gonna,
I know.
You better have one by Tuesday because that's when the
He
season.
probably already bought one. To be fair, he probably bought one during the stream.
Yeah, I've streamed with Alex enough to know that there's like.
I know that
full-on degen happening.
face. I know the face. That's the degen face right there. We've all seen it.
He put on his headphones. He locked in. He was like, "Oh, hold the phone."
Gets really quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, we're back at school, so we gotta pull together funds if we were to do this. Gotta check under the rug, see what coins are hiding under there. But yeah, no, I like how the market works. What you guys were talking about, that makes sense. And then my last question is just like about gameplay. Like my question is like day to day, how many hours or how much time do you think per day you put into it?
5 minutes.
During the season, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The off season when I'm flipping is the only thing that takes time. Like otherwise you just go and set a lineup. I actually track everything day to day too, so I track like when people unlock potential points and all that, and it still takes me like 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, and then that's not including the game's last 30 minutes. So if you are watching the game, actively watching, just following along the game, then that's 30 minutes right there. But in terms of like before, after, yeah, like 15, 20 minutes max, and that's if I have a lot of players that are trainable, and that's also 2 clubs, and it's still like. It's pretty much, I would say, day to day is like, all right, wake up, doom scrolling in my bed, check my Footium players. All right, who goes in the training? Cool. If I might maybe check my opponent just to see like, hey, there's a chance that they forgot to set a lineup or anything like that. Maybe 30 minutes prior to the match. I think like now I like to. Play the way I want to play. I don't adjust to my opponent's tactics as much anymore, and so that is a little different. I like it, and then at the same time after the game, it's like, all right, cool. Like, who's gonna maybe go ahead and set a lineup for tomorrow, or or at least like go ahead and put a few more guys into training or something like that.
Yeah, to be fair, even during games, I don't even watch 90% of it. I show up at the 60th minute because I know what time that's going to be. Generally, it's about 20 minutes into the game. Yep. Show up, make my subs, and hit the road. So you don't even have to really spend the 30 minutes on that if you don't want to. I mean, you definitely can, and you can like understand a little bit more of kind of what's going on with the team. But there's still not a lot of like tactical control yet. I think that's like. All that stuff is kind of coming down the road as more like tactical decisions and more in-game decisions and kind of rewarding people who are live. But as of right now, it's not too crazy, to be fair.
Yeah, I would say that the only early game thing I've done is like there was one game where it was like 15 minutes in and I was getting smoked 4-0 because just everything went wrong. And I was like, well, time to take all my big players out. You're going to rest. Yeah. And we moved to next game.
Yeah. That is definitely a possibility. No, but like, and you guys were saying it too. Like when looking back at like how my Footium goes, is that if I'm not working, I'll show up for the game and like I'll watch it because it's fun. But I basically have Footium open. I go to sleep and I set training. By the time I wake up, they finish. So I wake up and I set more training and then I go to work and I'm like, whatever. Like I check the results. I check my teams, anything I need to rotate, and then I move on with my life.
If you have like 40 players and you can check like 2-3 times a day to just get a bunch of training sessions in, that helps. But even then, it's like literally 2 minutes to set a training person.
And there's times where fixtures come up and you're like, I'm not training anybody because I need to rotate, or you have like 3-4 like big matchups back to back, and training is the first thing that goes out the window because it's like you can't take that 20% to stamina hit.
So for Zach, since you're here, one piece of advice. Unlocking the training point is much more important than actually training them. Like that's the thing that caps you as long as you have enough people in your team. So like when you get to that 33 where you're super efficient with your players, you will get to a point where basically everybody's trained and you're just waiting to unlock people potential. So the actual minutes in the game of like how many minutes people are getting is what is their focus, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then question, since you guys are talking about that, do you think that's a detriment to the game that like it's not engaging enough during the live game time for you, or do you think that's fine? Just curious.
It's fun to watch the game, to be fair, because like the ball's just kind of going around, and they do a decent job of like building drama with like the shot, and then you don't know if it goes in or not. I think eventually, as it grows and you get more tactical decisions, that'll be more fun. But as it is right now, it's still fun. You know, it's still got like enough to keep you kind of engaged.
Yeah, I think they just need to make sure they nail down the game engine first.
Right.
And then they can iterate on like the UI of the actual game day experience once they have that nailed down. But yeah, it's still like Chris said, it's like, I still have my rotation of shot, clinch butthole, miss, unclinch.
Or a conceded penalty, and you're just sitting there waiting.
I was watching an old stream, and you guys were live streaming one of your games, and dude, when his team saved that penalty, and he was so hyped about it, I was like, God. That's what I'm talking about. That's what.
You should have seen me in chat whenever we conceded the goal that sent us out.
You were like, we're going up.
I was like, no, because what literally happened was like we just needed a tie, and so I went like all out attack, and which exposes you defensively. And like the one criticism I still have is that it takes so freaking long for tactics and to go through. Because anyway, so like I go all out attack. I score in like the 89th minute, and there's typically only like 1 minute of stoppage time. So I'm just like, we're going up. Literally 2 seconds later, we concede. I'm just like pounding rolling my face across the keyboard in chat, and it's because I couldn't tactically adjust back to like ultra defensive, and it's. So
which you would do in real life.
Exactly.
Like in real life, you see the goal go in and you go, okay, stop attacking.
Like park the freaking bus. Do not do anything. Just kick the ball out, right? And so I think that's one thing I'd love to see them finally. And I think it's I think they send those transactions like through the network though. So I don't know how easy it will be for them to ever get that going. But yeah, that's one thing I'd love to see. It's just like almost instant tactical changes.
So yeah, let's not make any mistake. This is still a game that's in its infancy. It's not like a complete game whatsoever. So there's still a lot of stuff.
Which is the exciting part to me.
Yeah,
that's the exciting part to me. Like It's still new, and it's still like at where it's at. It seems like a lot of fun, and it can only like get better.
Things change so fast.
Yeah, like decisions are made that benefit the game. Like always benefiting the game.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen anything that they've done yet where I've been like, that's a bad idea. I'm like, oh no, thank God you did that. It was so needed.
Yeah.
I know another one is like, I guess they want something for the retired players. I'm gonna fall on the other side of that and say, don't do anything with the retired players, to be honest. Really? Like let a guy retire, you bought him, you used him, and his career's over, and like just let it be. The more you try to work in like crap like that, as I'll call classic players, the more you try to work in classic, the more you just create problems, I think. Like, just let the guys be retired.
There's a tweet I saw of someone that wanted like a breeding system between retired players.
Yeah. You craft and burn them, and then you get a random academy.
You get like an academy player.
Well, it's a double burn. First
it would be like coaching an academy. Like he's going to be my coach now, and he'll improve my academy team. I don't know about breeding.
He called it breeding, which is what made me laugh.
Yeah, you're gonna have some really good coaches.
Wait, so then you can list on the market for a stud fee. Like, I got a stud fee on this guy coming out of the academy, coming out of retirement.
We're gonna go shiny hunting on Footium. Every 0.01%, your card ends up shiny once you breed it. Oh dear Lord,
I'm breeding. Nah. That's pretty good.
Hey, I mean, why not? But yeah, and even the Footium, like it's simple. I know I've talked about like, it'd be cool to have like more stats for players and all that stuff, but it's super simple, straight to the point. And you're like, hey, like this is what it is. You can change your tactics, do all this, and like there's like beauty in the simplicity where it's still really fun. Like watching the games, doing all that. And even like if you go down 1-0 in a game, you really need to like win, and you just pull out all out attacking, and just every possession you're just freaking out as you're just getting in the box and just completely not shooting and losing the ball, but just that anticipation, like being in a real football match. You hit the post so many times, and it's just like it just builds up, and then it finally goes in, and just bam, it's incredible. So Great stuff over here on the Footium streets. I love it. It's fun. It's incredibly fun. Alex, do you have any more questions? Anything else arising? Did you buy your first club yet?
No, I have not. I don't think I have any questions. It's been very informative. It's interesting. Again, like I didn't really play Football Manager growing up, and so like I can see sort of where the aspect of this comes in. And I know people like that, and I've been wanting to get into that. But no, it sort of seems like a mix of different games that I've played in the past, and I like that. So,
I've heard. I don't know if any of this is true. I've just kind of like seen it around a little bit, but like eventually the stadiums will be buildable, so like you'll be able to customize your stadium and how big it is, and like the higher you go, and like I don't know if there's ticket sales or like passive revenue or something that comes from that or what, but like sponsorships are like a thing, and
Football
so like
Club Manager,
they could fully like build this thing out into almost like a real like own a real team, which would be really really cool if they could do that. That's a long way I think down the road, but it does have kind of like at least the bare bones of like it could just be a virtual like club, just like real players play real game. You could just have a virtual players playing a virtual game, but all the same lines of business and all the same streaming and all that.
And then
Zach.
Alex, I don't think it was mentioned. Like, right? So there's a game every day, Monday through Friday for 6 weeks. That's like the
every
season.
day, Sunday through Saturday.
Yeah, every day, all day, every day.
I thought it was
every day.
schedule, and it looked like it was 2 days off. I guess. But
no, that's the transfer windows. They're not off. You're just able to add players during that.
Okay, so yeah,
it's not 6 weeks. It's like 2 or 3 weeks normally.
It's 22 matches.
Yeah,
22 days. So 22 days.
It's like 3 weeks, and then there's normally a couple weeks off between like the season. So it probably is like 6 weeks between the start of one season to the start of the next season.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's 22 days.
3.5 weeks, basically, almost 4 weeks. Yeah. Yep, every day.
So that's another point that I think is really awesome. Alex, is another thing that draws me to the game is like I have a bad season. It's 3.5 weeks, and I get to reload and like try again. You know, like,
and at a lower level, that is hopefully easier.
Yeah, but like you just get to reload. Like, oh, I made some bad decisions. Let me try something else this time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I'm not waiting the true MLS season to be over to then go to the off season to then like start buying players again. It's like nope. You just try something and you see what happens.
And you don't have to set a lineup once a week. You get to set a lineup every day. So you get to like even within the season, you can iterate a whole lot more than you can.
And there's a ton of formations to explore too. Like not even that. Like you could tinker with so much. Mess around with formations if that's something you want to do. Either you like a formation or you're trying to get real big brain with it and do that as well. So like, dude, there is a lot of optionality to have some fun and play this game the way you want to. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like there's really no right or wrong to play it. It's like you just kind of play it the way you want to play it and the way you want to. Sometimes you want to vibe it, and sometimes you want to excel it. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, something also really cool about it is when you mint academy players, a portion of that money goes into the prize pool for your division.
Not a portion, 90%.
Well, okay, 90%. But I mean, like,
that's
like
a big portion, though.
But
when you say a portion, I'm thinking like, oh, they're going to donate $1 for every $10 I spend. No, it's 90% of that revenue goes back to the.
So, like, it sort of drives like academy signings in a way to like increase your pot. Like, it's really an interesting mechanism.
The market signings do that too. It's just only 5% of the market. And then it's like, there's a certain percentage.
So like the way they build the pot is like it's not reliant on everybody buying new cards in a sense. It's like, well, you build your team and then just a portion of the pot gets put in there, and then I think they guarantee at least some amount, but like it can go higher than that.
Yeah, and I think like
they save some of the academy for future seasons, so that's why they have like a little base that they've already gotten from the past.
Yeah, and like I think they it's sort of the increase is contingent on how active your division is, right? So as you go up, the likelihood that you'll see the price pool increases too.
And the academy players are more expensive, so even if it's the same level of activity, they're just spending more on the academy players, so there's a bigger prize.
Like, what's
So-
a D1? What's a D1 academy player like? Half an ETH?
Oh god,
I don't know. I actually don't know.
That's a good
Let's see.
question.
Probably.
Does anybody know what a D1 academy player costs?
you can look at all the
We're all
leagues
so
too,
far from
so
D1, man. I don't.
You can
But
look at
it's
all the
just-
leagues and all the teams.
Yeah, it just like gives you an idea, you know, like what is a D1 academy player?
It's loading.
Oh, it doesn't tell you.
It doesn't tell you the price though.
We
My
gotta
gosh.
make friends with somebody with D1.
No, what's his name? The Dallas guy likes him.
Oh, the guy that's
Bachman.
actually going to be on Laird's show tomorrow, I think, talking Footium. Bachman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bach.
great guy. He's a FC Dallas guy.
Yeah.
We be
He's
chatting
cool.
some FC Dallas from time to time.
He's-
Oh,
yeah,
here
he's-
comes that. Here comes the SKC
I
guy.
I think he won like 2 of the first 3 or something. This is his team, I think. Chicklapee.
Yeah, he's won Division 1 a couple times, I think.
Yeah, I think he
Like,
won
is
2 in a row.
The champ, like the champ.
Like season 3 and 4 or something. He won. Maybe even 3 in a row.
It's impressive. I know
Yeah.
at one point Blackpool had a insane amount of teams. I don't know if that's
course
the
they
case
did.
anymore.
Of course they
Of
did.
course they did.
I don't know if that actually. I don't know if Blackpool exists anymore either.
Another casualty to the NFT winter, which apparently is coming back. So who knows, man? Maybe all our bags will get pumped here real soon.
Also, this is Bachman's roster, which is a little
Oh!
bit absurd.
Oh, look at those legendary
A
players.
little bit absurd. So,
Oh.
for context, they auction like 6 of these legendary players every year, and he has 4 of them on his team. So
What price wise? What do you think?
They're like
are
uniques.
expensive.
Yeah, they were in the
Um,
Discord. I think we can pull up a player, right? We can look at his sale. Like we can click on a
Yeah, you can
legendary.
go to OpenSea.
Yeah, OpenSea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
0.59, so a little over 1,000.
A little over half an ETH.
4 days ago.
Hurts my wallet, and they didn't even that full. Ugh. Yikes!
But the
Yeah,
keepers are cheaper, right? Like compared to
Oh, that's true.
Probably.
yeah.
yeah.
Check like one of the outfield.
I just clicked on the top one.
Could always count on Alex.
Center forward, center mid.
Let's say the center forwards. Those are going to be 2 of the most expensive.
Let's see.
1.6.
Yeah.
1.6. Yeah, so overneath for like effectively unique.
Hey, and he has a
What's-
mustache. Let's go, baby.
What's the
How many mustaches you've acquired over there?
Oh, yeah. You want to run through my gallery real quick, bro? It's all a bunch of Mexicans and mustaches, bro. It's great.
Oh, I do have one more question after he looks through this. I want to see what
two,
like
2 ETH prize for first place? He finished second. It looks like last year.
can I see what prizes look
Oh.
like in your guys' divisions? Like the,
Thanks, Dave. David posted what a D1 Academy player mint is.
Thanks.
So it's
Thanks, David.
0.1. Yep, 0.10.
I won $20 for getting third place in Division 8.
Yeah, but that's dying. Division 8
Yeah.
is really low.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
But
Let me.
it was like 0.008.
When I got promoted, I
finally.
think it was 45
Yeah.
2 years ago.
from 6 to 7, or sorry, from 7 to 6.
From 8 to 7.
From
And
8 to 7.
I finished
Like
second
lowest
too. I
division.
didn't even win it.
Yeah, I got 4th last season, and I got 0.014 ETH.
The reward is not loading.
Yes, I mean if you do pretty well, man, you can churn ETH every
Yeah.
3-4 weeks. Like, that's
0.055.
not bad.
0.055 was first. 0.033 was second. 0.02 was third. And like, if you're third, you're still in this division next year. So like, you could win this just like every single year.
Yep.
Technically.
Tactically get third every year.
Chris got
Hey,
the
that's
one.
what I'm doing, baby.
That's
I
a
don't know if
real.
it's
That's a
tactically,
real
but I'm doing
strategy.
it.
Either like always get third, or like get first and then immediately come back down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not mad that now. I'm not that mad that I didn't get promoted. Sounds like loser talk, but I like winning money.
Yeah, I competitively I like not having gotten relegated, but I also didn't win anything for finishing 8th. So I kind of almost would rather have gotten relegated, so I basically guaranteed winning something this season. But that's okay.
Yeah, but the good thing about staying in Div 8 this long, by the time I do get to Division 7, like I'm gonna be fairly competitive because I've had all this time to.
Your
train
team
up
and my team are the same. Okay, we're the same level. We're
I think
fine. We're not
I
falling
think you're-
behind you.
You're vastly underestimating how tough these divisions can
Listen,
get.
at the end of this season, I will have like 5 bronze players, all from training and academy. So like I'm getting there, bro.
These whole
I'm hitting
teams
the
are
training
bronze,
heavy.
though. These whole teams are bronze.
Well, then I'll buy a few more, dude.
That
So
sounds
yeah,
more accurate.
top two promotion. It's top 2 get promoted.
Yeah, and bottom 4 go down.
Yo, shout out Boston Sean. We know Boston Sean loves some Footium, boy. Gotta get him on a show. Hey, let me do this real quick. You see my gallery, bro? It's all Mexicans and mustaches, and it's kind of great. Like I purposely
That's
go out
the
of my
real way
way
to play Footium.
to get
like-
mustaches and Mexicans.
I just want a gallery of self-portraits.
Essentially, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hey, it's my club. I will run it the way that I want to. Okay. They need a mustache to play.
So the only guy that I've sold for a loss so far, I sold him for a 30-cent loss, and it's because he had the exact same name as somebody else in my club, and I kept getting confused on which one was which. So I was just like, "You're out of here. Get out."
Maybe 3 Garcias on my team. I don't know.
So we'll put that in the feedback. Try to get a better name generator. I shouldn't
just
have
check, like,
guys.
First name, last name against the rest of your roster. Make sure that it's not both the same. Like one or the other you can handle, but like both the same is a little difficult. I literally labeled them Mohamed Soliman center mid and Mohamed Soliman left wing back.
Yeah, I have 2 Gomez, 2 Garcias, a Fernandez, a Hernandez.
That's about right.
I just call them good left mid, bad left mid.
Oh no, I have the names. I bought Young Suk Ho.
What a
I bought a
hoe.
Young Ho.
K-League legend.
I think I already sold him actually.
Zach, did you say you had another question or comment or concern? Or did you
No. We already spoke about it.
No, okay. Thomas, you got anything else, man? We've been here for an hour. What you got? What you got cooking over there? What are the burgers and beers saying to you?
The burgers and beers. Well, I had a cup of coffee. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of show you this when I say this is. I'll present real quick just to kind of give you an idea of what the actually. Make sure you get the right screen. There we go. Yeah, what the landscape looks like. So this is my roster right here. So yeah, I have 2 rare players. Yeah, I spent the money on the Julio Suarez for a right winger, and I mean he's good. But like I said, I just can't find the opportunity to ever train these 2 guys. But
That's insane.
to kind of give context here, I think when I first got promoted into D7, I only had like 1 bronze player. Was this guy right here, I think. And I feel like even with 2 rare players, I barely scraped by. I actually ended up just like kind of calling that season a mulligan, and ended up spending a lot of time training them that season. And I managed to stay alive. And the last 2 seasons, I think it's just been. I feel like I've gotten a little unlucky with my scheduling, and that just knowing, like I said, that that I have to go against someone that got a chance to fully rotate or to fully rest their squad right before mine when I was just going back to back. But at the same time, I think we've done pretty well. What's been cool though is, and this is what just showing the UI when you have multiple teams here. This is the secondary team right here, and I actually sold I think 3 or 4 players from this secondary squad this season. I think I had like 3 or 4 bronze players on this squad. So I sold a goalkeeper who was maxed out. I sold a midfielder that was maxed out at like 41 and 42. I actually have this guy up for sale right now for like 0.012 ETH or something like that. And I've done a couple offers, but nothing that was great. No one wants to pay the premium, then I'm going to keep them. And I think like that's the thing. The cool thing is that there are some players in here that I'll end up using in the main team. But otherwise, like what I was able to do with all those players that I sold was I turned them into a nice center forward that I just brought in this season that I got from the secondary market, Mr. Ronald Sullivan. And I think he was a little over, how much was he? 0.085. Yeah, 0.085. And then I also minted a couple players. But like you said, he goes up into the high 50s or mid 50s. And center forward, which is what I needed because I just needed a bit more quality.
It's a really solid buy.
Yeah, and like
good.
It was, you gotta be patient sometimes. Like if you just don't see anything in the market, it's like sorry, right? Like you just gotta wait your turn.
Yep, it's just constantly checking and just like it's honestly like swooping floors, man. Like I think Chris, you were telling me that like stuff is gone within like 15 minutes. Like if you sleep on it, like you're gone. There are a lot of people.
Well, also when people list another thing, if you find one that's like way undervalued, look at the rest of their gallery because like people will just list their whole gallery all way undervalued, and I got 4 guys all within like 10 minutes. All from one dude, and I ended up flipping for a total. I put 30 in, and I made 45 profit, so a little over a 2x on the entire thing. And the best flip of those was a 5x flip. So I got one for 0.002 that I sold for 0.01, which was just crazy. And that was the last one too. I literally had 0.022 left in my account, and I was like, well, I'm just looking for another one that I can grab. And I was like, I just literally, he had like only 5 players under 0.002. And I just looked for the highest max potential and just added him because I knew it'd be a deal. And turns out he was the best deal of the whole bunch.
This dude's out here throwing darts at the wall and still making money, bro. God, dear Lord.
Nothing like the old, this is what I have left. Let me go see what I can get move.
It's like, I guess I'll buy this.
If everything's undervalued, spend all your money. That's what I've been told by. Don't diversify whatsoever. Throw that money in there.
Oh man, yeah, I gotta love it, dude. Footium's awesome, man. Like I didn't play Football Manager either. It's really like kind of my like first kind of dive at something like this, and I don't know if it's the blockchain. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the mustaches, whatever it is. But I'm hooked. I'm having a great time. Chris, you have anything else? Anything else you wanna say on this lovely stream?
Yeah, just focus long term. Keep grinding. Eventually, those 50 guys will get to 50, and then your team will be good.
Let's go.
So don't panic and overpay in the beginning. Patience is a virtue in this game for sure.
Yep.
It's a slow burn.
Yep. Slow and steady wins the race, baby. Alex is gonna have more players than me by tomorrow, and it's gonna be awesome. Zach, this has been incredible following your journey. We will definitely catch up with you soon. We'll follow the journey. The season starts tomorrow? Tomorrow's the first game.
Yeah.
Not Tuesday, right?
Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
Oh, so mine says 1 day left, and I don't because I don't know how to add. Mine's in the morning. So.
Math. Well, you don't have a spreadsheet to tell you when the game starts. So. Sorry, bud.
I'm not tracking that. I'm tracking everything else.
Yeah, but we'll definitely catch up with you as soon as those first games get rolling. See how it's going. Again, shout out to Boston Sean. You're awesome, buddy. Rares are awesome. So are you. And yeah, we'll catch up. Hopefully Alex has a team by then. Thomas will have you on more regularly. Hopefully, Chris, you're gonna have to do it. We're all gonna do it. It's a good time. We're gonna be hitting the content hard. We got a lot of people coming. Got some guests planned in the works from like weeks ago until they got really busy and life got crazy. But hey, they'll be on here. We'll be having a good time. This has been Footium the States, baby. At least once a week, hopefully more. But I can't wait to see you guys next time. Shout out to all the people that are hanging out in the chat. There is a bunch of you. Let's tell all your friends to come hang out, join in the chat, and be a part of the community and catch a vibe. But good luck scouting. Take these tips from Chris. Make some money. Buy a second team. Train your academy. Stay in Div 8 so you get a bunch of 50-plus players and nobody else does. And win some ETH, baby. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Bye, Mom.